I'd like you to see our cast. Cast on stage, please. All right, let's all sing Kumbaya as they come out. I'm going to introduce you to our star, George Bailey, Mr. Randy Hoffmeyer. The evil Mr. Potter, Mr. Jim French. Thank you, Cairo. The wonderful Mrs. Bailey, Pat French. Let's see, Joseph, Ernie, Bert, anybody else I can think of in the show? Rick May. A lady who said she'd come out and do this, she has maybe 5 lines in the whole thing, but she puts a lot of gusto into it, Miss Susan Connors. And the voice of KIXI, Dan Murphy. Now, these I'm obligated to introduce because they're members of the American Federation of Radio and Television Artists. However, on my right, screwing up his bottle of water, Dave Selvig. What's your last name? Huh? What's your first name? Ellie. Alex. Anna. Brian. How'd you get in here? What's your name? Another Brian. And John Jensen. Our special guest star, Miss Karolyn Grimes. You'll hear more from Karolyn in the second half. Now, our special director, all the way from Southern California, past president of the Radio Enthusiasts of Puget Sound, and a man who invaded all of our lives, anybody who's over the age of 45, Mr. Richard Beals. And I'm going to turn, I'm doing a Jim French here. Without who, these two guys over here, there is no sound effect. There is no door closings. Frank and Curtis. Music, Bob Cardenas. And up there, technical directing the whole thing, the man who set up the mics and that, and nobody's introduced me. I don't know his first name. But turn around and applaud him anyway, because without him, we're dead. Dick, it's all yours.
The Hollywood Screen Directors present It's a Wonderful Life, starring Randy Hoffmeyer and Karolyn Grimes, with Jim French as Mr. Potter and Larry Albert as Clarence Oddbody. This is the story of George Bailey, citizen of Bedford Falls, New York. George Bailey, who more than anything under the sun wanted to see the world, the wonderful, exciting world that lay somewhere beyond the limits of his hometown. Oddly enough, this story does not begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in the world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels has just summoned an apprentice angel named Clarence.
Oh, am I really going down to earth, sir? Oh, how splendid.
Yes, there's a very discouraged man down there, Clarence. George Bailey. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time, he'll be thinking seriously of ending his life.
Oh, dear, his life.
Now, I want you to stop him if you can. Now, sit down. I'll give you Bailey's case history.
Sir, if I should accomplish my mission, may I perhaps get my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and, well, people are beginning to talk.
Clarence, what's that book?
Oh, the Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine book, fine. Excellent. Well, you do a good job on George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now, listen. When George Bailey was a boy, 2 events occurred that you should keep in mind. One was when his young brother Harry fell through the ice and almost drowned. George saved him.
Brother fell through ice. George saved him.
Ever since, George has had a bad ear. All that icy water, you understand?
Bad ear. Yes, sir.
The other event came a few months later. George used to work after school in Mr. Gower's drugstore. One day, Mr. Gower's only son died of influenza. It was a terrible blow, and poor Mr. Gower tried to lose his grief in whiskey. Where you been, George? Mrs. Blaine's called twice. What happened to her prescription? You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower. Here it is.
You good for nothing. Don't you know that Blaine girl's very sick?
Mr. Gower, my ear. You're hurting my sore ear.
I'll teach you to loaf, you lazy brat.
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules.
Shut up!
Yeah, I know you feel bad, but Mr. Gower, look. The bottle you used, this bottle to make up the capsules, it's poison.
Poison?
Don't hurt my sore ear again, Mr. Gower.
Poison? Oh, George. George!
That's why I didn't deliver it, Mr. Gower. All I wanted was to make sure.
George. George. Well, Clarence, that was George Bailey as a boy. When he grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. And so he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association?
No, I forgot to tell you. George's father was in the building and loan business. He and George's Uncle Billy. High ideals and low bank account. Anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough to see him through the university. That summer, though, he was going to Europe. Got a job on a cattle boat, do a little traveling before college.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's hard to realize it's my last night at the Bailey boarding house.
Well, we're sure going to miss you, George.
Oh, I'm going to miss you too, Pop. Hey, what's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh, I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up.
So did I.
Oh, I just can't understand a man like Potter. He can't begin to spend all the money he has.
I guess Potter owns about everything he wants in Bedford Falls except our building and loan. That's why he hates us.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo studs?
Oh, yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? In your suitcase?
No, I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where'd you get that suitcase anyway?
Oh, Mr. Gower, going away present. And one of these days, you're going to see that bag all covered with travel labels. Italy and Baghdad and Samarkand.
Gonna have a pretty full summer, huh?
Oh, I'm going to have a pretty full life.
Why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What, and be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I gotta hurry.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
We've got it all figured out now, Pop. He'll take over my job at the building and loan, work for 4 years like I did, then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
Maybe you were born older, George.
Huh?
George, when you get out of college, I don't suppose you'd come back to the building and loan?
Oh, no. Now, Pop, I just couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office. I'm sorry, Pop. Now, I didn't mean that. It's just that this business, nickels and dimes, I go crazy. I want to do something big, something important.
In a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people figure out how they can own their own homes.
I know. I know, Pop. I just wish I felt that But I feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
You're right, boy. You get yourself an education, then get out of here.
Oh, Pop, Pop, you want to hear a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thanks, George. I'm glad to hear it. Look, why don't you go on over to Harry's dance? You'll have a good time.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will drop in. Yeah, maybe I will at that.
So George Bailey went to a dance. Is that important, Joseph?
Why, it was at the dance he met Mary Hatch. And about 3 hours later, he was walking her home. George and Mary were feeling pretty good, Clarence. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog.
Beautiful.
Oh, boy, just like an organ.
At least.
Gee whiz. Hey, you know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will. Hey, how old are you anyway?
18?
18.
Too old or too young?
No, that's just right. It sort of fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, George. I love that old house.
Well, don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish, and then you throw a rock.
George, but it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
In there? I wouldn't live in it as a ghost. Now, watch. Watch this. Here we go. How about it, huh? Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window, huh?
What'd you wish for, George?
Oh, I don't know. Not just one wish, a whole hat full of them. Mary, I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm coming back here and go to college and see what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields and skyscrapers 100 stories high and bridges a mile long. And then I'm going to... Hey, Mary, what is it you want? What do you want, huh? You want the moon? All right, all you got to do is just say the word, and I'll be sure to grab that moon, and I'll bring it home.
Okay. The moon, I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Well, you could swallow it, and it'd dissolve like an aspirin, you know? And the moonbeams would shoot at your fingers and the ends of your hair, and Oh, you think I'm talking too much?
Yes, why don't you just kiss her instead of talking her to death?
How's that?
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, just a minute, mister. Hey, you come back here. I'll show you some kissing that'll knock your socks off.
George!
Hey, Uncle Billy, look here. I'm going to kiss Mary. Watch.
Hey, George, get in the car, quick. Your father's had a stroke.
What?
George,
what?
Get in, hurry.
Well, George's father died that night, Clarence. So, of course, George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
What was that you said, Mr. Pollard?
I said as long as Peter Bailey's dead, let's dissolve the building and loan. We don't need it.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, you wait a minute. Now, Peter Bailey was not a businessman. Ideals without common sense can ruin a town. What do we get? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class.
Now, hold on, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I meant no disrespect, George.
No, now, wait a minute there. Why my father ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But you just remember this, Mr. Potter. This rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, Mr. Potter, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building and loan.
Oh, you're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling. That's what you're talking about. Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without crawling to you. Now, come on, Uncle Billy.
What happened, George?
Yeah, all we heard was a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Yeah, well, they're in there voting us out of business now.
Oh, well, who cares? I can get another job. I'm only 41.
45.
Oh, will you get out of here, George? You missed your boat trip. You want to miss college, too?
George, we just voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Whoopee! We're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? No, but I'm going to college. Look, this is my last chance. Uncle Billy's your man.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so. They even...
I know. George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to Harry. Harry went instead.
But what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. He could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields, Venezuela. Except when Harry came home, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his wife.
George?
Yeah, I'm out on the porch, Mother. I just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Oh, she's swell.
Looks like she can keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, and keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
What do you mean?
Well, Ruth's father, he's got a wonderful job for Harry up in Buffalo.
Buffalo? But that means you...
Yeah.
You can't...
Yeah.
George, did you know Mary Hatch is back from school?
Oh, yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stop grunting.
Well,
Give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about Mary.
But she's not crazy about him.
Well, now, how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you? How do you know...
Besides, Sam's away in New York.
Oh, and all's fair in love and war, huh? I see. Okay, Mother, I think I'll go out and find that girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Goodbye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books at the library?
Library? George, you go and see Mary. Do you hear?
George, is that you out there?
Hello, Mary.
Well, are you coming in?
Oh, I just happened to be passing by here and,
Oh, I thought you were picketing. Have you made up your mind?
how's that?
Well, have you made up your mind?
About what?
About coming in. Your mother just phoned. She said you were coming over.
My mother? Just phoned? What's she mean, coming over? Look, I just happened to be passing by, that's all. I didn't... Well, all right. I'll come in for a minute, but I didn't tell anybody I was coming here. Fella can't go out for a walk nowadays without... Well, when'd you get back?
Tuesday.
Oh. Well, where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
Well, it's all right.
Well, no point in standing here on the porch. Come on in.
Well, I still can't understand it. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here, you know?
Would you rather leave?
Well, no, I don't want to be rude. I'll sit down for a while.
It's nice about your brother and Ruth, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
No, marriage is all right for a lot of people. It's all right for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
For Sam?
Mary?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Not a thing. And I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
Oh, you just go tell him to go right back home. Sam said he'd call you tonight from New York, didn't he?
I guess so. How about some music?
You know, your mother needn't... You know, I didn't come here to...
Well, what did you come here for, then?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be the one with all the answers. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
Well, I don't know why I came here in the first place. Good night.
Good night.
Mary! Telephone, Mary!
Oh, the way you're shouting, you'd think that...
Mary!
You'd think what?
Mary!
All right, I'll get it. George, on your way out, would you mind turning off the phonograph?
I'd be happy to. Doggone crazy song.
Hello? Sam.
Mary? Oh, it's good to hear your voice.
How are you, Sam?
I forgot my hat.
Hee-haw.
What?
Oh, I was just talking to an old friend of yours, George Bailey.
Old Mossback George?
Old Mossback George.
Well, put him on. I'll talk to him, too.
Wait a second, George.
He doesn't want to speak to George.
He does so. He asked for him.
Did you call for me? Because if you did, I'm in a hurry. I gotta...
Sam wants to talk to you.
Hiya, Sam.
Hey, fine pal you are, trying to steal my girl.
No, what do you mean? Nobody's trying to steal anybody's girl. Here, Mary, take the phone.
No, wait, George. I want to speak to you both. Tell Mary to get on the extension upstairs.
Well, he says for you to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension. We can both hear George. Just put your head a little closer.
What?
There. That's better. Sam, we're listening.
Well, I've got this big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich, George. George, you remember that time you told me about making plastic out of soybeans?
Soybeans? Oh, yeah, soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, George, see? And now he's going to put up a factory. How do you like that?
A factory, huh?
Yeah, and here's the point, George. I may have a job for you, and unless you're still married to that broken-down building and loan. Oh, Mary?
I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's a chance of a lifetime.
Here, give me that phone.
Here's George again, Sam. George.
Now, you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any job, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. Do you understand that? Look, I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me, and you're... Mary, you...
George!
Mary!
George!
Oh, Mary, darling, I love you, Mary.
Well, so George Bailey and Mary Hatch were...
Yes, George and Mary were married. And they started off their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
Hey, where you two going on this here now, honeymoon?
Oh, we're gonna shoot the morks, Ernie. A whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotel, the oldest champagne, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
So, you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, huh? Then what?
Oh, then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it. Hey, you know, Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you yet.
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look over there at the bank. It looks like a run.
Pull over a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop, please. Let's go straight to the station.
Now, wait a minute. I better see what it is. I'll be right back.
Oh, George, please, George.
Oh, poor George Bailey. He's certainly in desperate trouble, Joseph. I'll go to him at once.
Now you sit down, Clarence, sit down. We're nowhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life.
We're not?
Where were we? Yes. George and Mary had just started out on their honeymoon when they ran smack into the financial panic of 1932. In the waiting room of the building and loan, 100 frantic people were clamoring for their savings.
Hey, what's going on, Uncle Billy? What happened? All those people out there.
This is a pickle, George. All I know is the bank called our loan an hour ago. I had to hand over all our cash.
Holy mackerel.
The whole town's gone crazy. Bank's in the same spot we are.
Our charter.
Well, what about our charter?
Our charter says we have to stay open till 6 p.m. The state can take away our license if we don't.
How can we stay open till 6 without any money? George, where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go out and talk to those people. Come on. Now, please, Now, please, folks. Now, just a minute now, please.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
All right, now, come on now, please. Now, wait a minute. Listen to me. Now, you're thinking of this place all wrong. Your money's not here. Now, wait a minute. Now, let me tell you. Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy's house, in the McLaren's house, and in your house, and hundreds of others. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I got $240 in shares. Now, let me have it.
All right, Charlie. Now, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now, look. That's what you agreed when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
Then let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Now, wait a minute, please, folks, I begged you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning this building and loan. And he's got the bank, and he's got the bus line, and he's got the department stores. Now he's after us because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now, we can get through this thing all right, but we've got to stick together. We've got to have faith in each other.
But my husband's out of work. We need money.
I got doctor bills to pay.
I can't feed my kids on faith.
How much do you need? We've still got money.
Hey, Mary.
Here it is, George. You told me to hold on to it. Would have made a nice honeymoon. Bought some furniture, too.
Hey, now, wait a minute, folks, listen. I got $2,000. All right, Charlie, how much do you need?
$240.
Oh, now, Charlie, now listen, just enough to tide you over.
I said $240.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlie $240. All right. Ed, how much just to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Oh, now you're talking. Mrs. Thompson, how about you?
Well, $20 will do.
Good. $20, Uncle Billy. Now pay it back when you can. All right. Who's next? Look at the clock. Look. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock. We made it. Lock that door, Eustace, quick. Oh, boy, we're still in business, Uncle Billy. We've got $2 left.
George, there's a call for you.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then call my wife, will you? She'll probably be over at Mother's.
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Mrs. Bailey. That is my wife. Hey, give me the phone, will you? Hey, Mary. Mary, listen, Mary, I'm sorry. Huh? Come home? Well, what home? What? 323 Sycamore? Well, whose home is that? What? Well, Mary, how can I... Well, sure. All right. I'll be there. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Clarence, guess what 323 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house?
Oh, no. Number 323 Sycamore was the old Granville house, the one George threw rocks at and made wishes. Yes, sir. That's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started housekeeping. They were still living there 2 years later when old man Potter asked George to stop over at his office.
Sit down, George. Sit down. Have a cigar.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, George, you're a young man, married, making, say, $40 a week at the building and loan.
45.
45. Now, if you were some ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing fine. But George Bailey is intelligent, ambitious. He hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born. But he's trapped into frittering his life away playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
Well, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that you're the only man in town who's licked me. George, I want to hire you, manage my affairs. I'll start you off at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. Don't you remember me, the building and loan?
Yes,
remember?
George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing he has sense enough to climb aboard.
Well, but what about the building and loan?
Confound it, man, I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Oh, no. Oh, no, doggone it. I don't want your dirty job. You sit here and think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I won't let you buy me away from the people who depend on me.
Oh, rubbish.
And I've made my decision, Potter.
And may it stick in your craw to regret as long as you live, George Bailey. May it stick in your fool craw.
George, what did Mr. Potter want?
Oh, it was nothing. He just talk. I don't know. It was nothing. Oh, gee. Mary Hatch. Mary, why in the world did you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep him from being an old maid.
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon. What have I given you? What have I given you? Not even a new dress, not for months. Gee whiz, I feel awful.
So do I, especially mornings.
Oh, you could have married Sam Wainwright, anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon, and I promised you that you're what?
My baby.
You mean, hey, Mary, you mean you're on the nest?
Well, Mary had her baby, Clarence, a boy.
You don't say.
And she had another one, a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George had come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down on him. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then.
Oh.
But she still had time to help out in the USO. Uncle Billy sold war bonds. And George's brother Harry became a real hero. Shot down 15 planes.
But George, what about George?
Well, George was 4F, his bad ear. He was an air raid warden. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. On VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clarence. You now know almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there at this moment waiting to die.
Well, sir, well?
Well, today's the day before Christmas, Earth time. George is pretty excited.
Hey, Tilly, Eustace, hey, look at the newspaper. Commander Harry Bailey, decorated by the President. That's my kid brother, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, gosh!
What do you think about that? 15 enemy planes. And the last one he got was just about to dive into a transport loaded with soldiers. You know what that means? He saved lives, hundreds of lives. Hey, gee whiz, where's Uncle Billy?
Go to the bank, George.
Oh.
He's depositing that $8,000.
Oh, good. Now, who's that in the office there?
It's that man again, the bank examiner.
Oh, uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Well, good afternoon, Mr. Carter. Hey, Tilly, get the books for Mr. Carter, will you? That's a picture of my brother there, Mr. Carter. He shot down 15 planes, and one of them was just about to go into a transport.
Well, Mr. Henry F. Potter, come to the bank to deposit some more loot.
Look out, you old fool.
How'd you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? I just can't keep those Bailey boys down now, can you?
Huh? Let me see that newspaper.
Here. I'm sorry I can't chat, you old thief. Gotta make a deposit. Here you are, Horace. Deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
Horace, I've forgotten things all my life.
Get a wheel on, boy.
But, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
Whoa, what's that?
You want to make a deposit?
Well, certainly I
Well,
want
it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Oh, where'd I put it? Where'd I put that money?
Terrible thing, Clarence. Terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to old man Potter.
I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000. Uncle Billy, the bank examiner's here. It's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
George, what are we going to do? We've traced every step I took. We can't stand here in the street.
Are you sure you didn't put that envelope in your coat pocket?
I think so. I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
Now listen to me. Think. Think, will you? Now try and think.
I can't think anymore.
Where's that money? You silly old fool. You know what this means. It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me. Now get out of my way. I'm going home.
George, dear, what's wrong? You haven't said a word since you came home.
How with that banging on the piano? Does she have to keep playing that same piece over and over and over again?
I have to practice for the Christmas party, Daddy.
What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Yeah, another red-letter day for the Baileys.
Dad, the Murphys got a brand new car. You should see it.
What's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
I'm sorry, Dad. I only just
Run
wanted
upstairs, Petey. See if Zuzu's all right.
Okay, Mom.
Now, what do you mean? See if Zuzu's all right. What do you mean?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. She didn't button up her coat.
Well, what is it? What do you mean? What do you mean, just a cold?
George, the doctor said it was nothing serious.
The doctor was here?
Well, I thought he'd better look at her.
Oh, it's this drafty old house. No wonder we don't all have pneumonia. Might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's happened?
Everything's happened. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know how you... Why don't you ask your mother?
Where are you going?
Upstairs to see Zuzu.
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. I'm sure she'll be all right.
Who's that?
It's Zuzu's school teacher. What? Yes. The doctor says she'll be fine
Here, give me
tomorrow.
The phone. Give me that
George,
phone.
please.
Now, Mrs. Welch? Yeah, this is Mr. Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending Zuzu home like that, half naked? Don't you realize she'll probably end up with pneumonia just because of your stupidity? You know, maybe my kids aren't the best-dressed kids in town, but at least... Hello? Janie, will you stop playing that lousy piano? Now cut it out! Stop it!
George, for heaven's sake, what's wrong with you?
Oh, I'm sorry, Janie. I'm sorry, Mary. I just got to get out of here.
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000 in your account, eh?
Please, Mr. Potter, I'll pay any sort of bonus. If you still want the building and loan,
You say it was lost? Have you notified the police?
No, sir, I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming tomorrow.
Now, why come to me? What about your good friend, Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George? What collateral?
Oh, yes, sir. I have some life insurance here. $15,000 policy.
Oh. What's your equity in it?
$500.
And you want $8,000. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man, crawling on your hands and knees for help? Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so well? Ask them for help.
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter, please. Please help me. My wife...
I'm calling the district attorney. $500. You know something, George? You're worth more dead than you are alive. Now, get out of here. Get out.
And all the time, Potter had the $8,000 in his desk drawer. It's still there, Clarence.
But where is George, sir? Where?
Well, he went over to Martini's Cafe. He's had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just standing there, sort of in a daze.
Oh, God. God. Dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, please, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Hey, Mr. Bailey, you all right? Don't drink anymore, Mr. Bailey. Please, you don't feel good.
Bailey?
Did you say Bailey? Which Bailey?
Well, this gentleman is a Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough she slaves teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. You gotta bawl her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch. You hear to my best friend. You get out.
All right, I'm going.
Hey, Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Welch, but don't worry. He don't come in this place no more. I get something for your face. It's a bleed.
No, I'm all right.
No, please, don't go away, Mr.
Leave
Bailey.
me alone.
Don't go away.
Let me alone.
Well, George left Martini's Cafe 5 minutes ago, Clarence. He's at the river now on the bridge, looking at the water. Are you ready, Clarence?
All ready, sir.
Very well. Save George Bailey's life, and you'll get your wings.
My wings? Oh, thank you, Joseph. George? George Bailey, you get away from that bridge. Do you hear me, George? George!
Numb with despair, convinced, as Mr. Potter said, that he's worth more dead than alive, George Bailey stands on a bridge staring at the dark and frigid waters below. Suddenly, there's a splash.
Help! Help! I'm drowning! Oh, help! I can't swim!
Oh, no!
Help!
Relax now. Don't struggle. I'm coming in after you. Here I come!
It's a few minutes later now, and in the bridge keeper's shack, George and Clarence are drying off.
You both sure you're all right? You want the doctor?
No, I'm all right.
Oh, I'm fine. This underwear, well, I didn't have time to get anything more stylish. My wife gave this to me on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
You what, mister?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out, too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry, I brought Tom Sawyer with me.
Hey, how did you happen to fall into the river?
Oh, I didn't fall in.
Huh?
Well, I knew if you thought I was drowning that you would jump in and save me, so I jumped in.
You jumped in?
To save you. You see, you didn't go through with it.
Go through with what?
Suicide.
Hey, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yes, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
Oh, that's very funny, very funny.
Your lips bleeding.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw and an answer to prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
Hey, how'd you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you.
Well, who are you supposed to be, anyway?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Clarence Oddbody. Yeah, what's the AS2 for?
Angel, second class.
Oh. Hey, I'm getting out of here. Now, you may not need the doctor, but I do.
Well, cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Oh, because I'm your guardian angel, George.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, you look about like the kind of angel I'd get. What happened to your wings?
Well, I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
Oh, don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
No. We don't use money in heaven.
Oh, well, that's right, yeah. I keep forgetting, see. Comes in pretty handy down here, bub.
Oh, tut.
Of course, I found out a little late. You know, I'm worth more dead than alive.
Oh, you mustn't talk like that. Joseph will never give me my wings if you keep feeling that way. You just don't realize what you've done for folks. Why, if it hadn't been for you...
Oh, yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
Oh, this is not going to be
Yeah,
easy.
they'd be better off if I hadn't been born.
What did you say?
I said I wish I hadn't been born.
Oh, George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful? What?
Well, the idea you just gave me. Well, you got your wish. You've never been born.
I've never been born.
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
All right, okay, all right.
Okay, look, George, I can do things, strange things. I can show you the world, George, the way it would be if you hadn't ever been born.
Hey, wait. Say, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else in that bad ear.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. Oh, I don't think you're concentrating. Look, don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're nobody.
Well, that is the doggonest thing I ever... That ear,
Your lips stopped bleeding, too.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, what's happening around here? What is this anyway? I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? You want a drink?
Well, I don't quite know.
Oh, come on. As soon as our clothes are dry.
Oh, clothes are dry, George.
Hey, so they are. That's funny. Well, look, let's get dressed and we'll stroll over to Martini's and then... Oh, excuse me. I mean, I'll stroll, you fly.
Well, no. I don't have my wings.
Oh, yeah, you don't have your wings yet. That's right. I forgot that again. A couple of drinks and we'll both fly, huh? Hey, where's the boss? Where's Martini? Okay, well, double scotch. Quick, will you?
You know what I'd just love? Some mulled wine. Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad, and lively now.
Oh, come on, here. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
2 double scotches.
What about this place? It's all changed.
Well, all Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. There'll be a lot of things you've never seen before. Oh, good, somebody just made it.
Made what?
Every time a bell rings, it means some angel got his wings.
What did you say?
Look, Clarence, I think you'd better talk about angels somewhere else, not around here.
Why, don't they believe in angels?
Oh, yeah, they believe in them, but, it's just...
Well, then why should they be surprised when they see one?
Oh, don't mind him, bartender. He's just a little fella. He just never grew up. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
Well, next May, I'll be 293.
That does it. A couple of pixies, eh? Go on, get. Do you hear me? Get.
Where's Martini? Why don't you call him?
Stop asking me about Martini. He ain't here, and he... Hey, you, Rummy. Didn't I tell you to never come panhandling around here?
George, look.
Oh, it's Mr. Gower. Mr. Gower, listen, Mr. Gower, don't you know me? This is George Bailey.
Will you buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, will you, mister?
Pinky.
Yeah, Nick.
Throw the rummy out.
Oh, no, please.
Hey, bartender, that's Mr. Gower, the druggist.
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Pinky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here.
Well, get up, George. It's a good thing he threw us in this snowbank, eh?
Where's Mr. Gower?
Oh, Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, you weren't there to stop him from putting poison into that prescription.
Now, what do you mean I wasn't there? Look, now tell me, what are you? Are you a hypnotist?
George.
Look, why am I seeing all these strange things here?
Don't you understand? It's because you were not born.
Well, if I wasn't born, then who am I?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean I have no identity?
No papers, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's bell.
What?
Zuzu's bell. I bought my little girl a bell to hang on the Christmas tree, and I forgot to give it to her. I've got it right in here. It's gone. It's gone, too. Everything's gone.
But you've been given a great gift, George. A chance to see what the world would be like if you'd never been born.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy, too. Now, look, I am going home to my wife and family. Do you understand that? I'm going home, and I'm going home alone.
And better not leave him alone, Clarence. Keep following him.
Oh, Joseph. Oh, I'll stay near him, sir. But poor George. He's seeing Main Street now, the way it'd be if he hadn't lived. But the thing that really shocked him, sir, is the building and loan office. You know what's there now? A pawn shop.
What's he doing? Can you see?
He's talking to Ernie Bishop, the taxi driver. He wants to go home.
You'd better tag along, Clarence.
Oh, I will, sir. I will.
Come on. Step on it, will you, Ernie? Get me home. I'm off my nut.
Where do you live, buddy?
Oh, now doggone it, Ernie, don't start pulling that stuff on me. 323 Sycamore.
323 Sycamore?
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
Okay, buddy.
Hey, look, Ernie, I don't know what's happening. I'm going crazy or something. I got some bad liquor. Now, look, tell me this now. You're Ernie Bishop, right? And you live with your wife and kids and down...
You see my wife?
What do you mean? Seeing your wife? I've been in your house 100 times. We built it for you, didn't we?
Bud, my wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago, and I ain't never seen you before in my life,
Okay,
see?
okay, Ernie, okay. Just step on it. Get me home. Mary! Mary, where are you? Janie! Petey! Zuzu! Zuzu, where are you?
This is just an old abandoned house, George. You have no wife, no children.
Where are they? What have you done with them?
Hey, there you are, Bert. That's him. See? I told you.
All right, up with your hands.
Oh, Bert! Bert the cop, thank heaven, there, you're there!
Now, look, why don't you be a good fella and I'll take you to a doctor?
Bert! Now, Bert, listen to me. What's the matter with you guys? Now, listen! It's that fellow there! He says he's an angel! He tried to hypnotize me!
Well, I hate to use me nightstick, but I guess Ow!
Run, George, run! He can't hit you while I'm biting him.
Ow!
George, run! My teeth aren't what they used to be. Joseph, help! Joseph! Joseph!
Well, where did they go, Ernie? Where did they go?
I don't know. They just disappeared. Clarence?
Oh, Joseph, I hope you don't mind my calling on you like I did.
It was very irregular, Clarence. You're by yourself again. Where's George?
He's on his way to his mother's house, sir.
Well, if George hasn't been born, he has no mother.
Oh, he's being very stubborn, sir. He'll just have to find these things out for himself.
You'd better find him right away. Oh, and stop biting policemen, Clarence.
I'm here again, George.
Clarence, this boarding house can't be my mother's house.
Knock again.
This broken down old shack, my mother's house?
Knock again, George.
All right.
There's no vacancy.
Mother.
What are you talking about?
Mother, please help me. There's something terrible that's happened. Just keep me here until I get over it, please.
Never saw you before in my life, and I don't take strangers in unless somebody I knew sent him.
Uncle Billy sent me, your brother.
You knew him?
Well, of course I know him. I just saw him today.
That's a lie. He died in the insane asylum after Old Man Potter took over the loan company. Why do you lie to me?
Mother, please.
Good night.
Mother! My own mother doesn't know me. Oh, if only my brother Harry were here from Washington.
Oh, don't you remember, George? Harry died as a young boy.
That's not true. Harry is alive today. He went to war. He shot down 2 enemy planes that saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Your brother Harry broke through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
No, that's a lie. He got a Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died, George. Harry wasn't there to save those men because you weren't there to save Harry.
No.
You wished it so.
No, I didn't.
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. Don't you see, George? You really did live a wonderful life. If only you'd been born. Don't you see what a mistake you would be to throw it away?
Clarence.
Yes?
Where's Mary? Please, where's my wife?
I'm not supposed to tell.
Tell me where she is.
You're not going to like it, George.
Where is she? I'll choke it out of you if I have to. Where's my wife?
At the library. She works there. She's just about to lock up for the night, so George, come back! Oh, there must be an easier way for me to get my wings.
Mary!
I'm sorry, the library's closed.
Mary, it's George! Don't you know me?
No, I don't know you. Let me go!
Mary, please don't do this to me. Mary, please. Please help me. Help me. Where are our kids, Mary? I need you, Mary, please.
Get away from me! Help! Help!
Help me, please! I'm George!
Clarence?
Oh, where is he, Joseph? Where's George? I'm afraid I've lost him, sir.
You knew you shouldn't have let him try to see Mary. Now they're after him. A mob. They think he was trying to hurt her.
Joseph, I won't even get one wing, will I?
You have one more chance, Clarence. Get over to the bridge by the river. I think George has seen just about enough.
But the mob...
Oh, don't worry. They've lost him, too. Now, hurry up.
Oh, thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
Clarence, where are you?
I'm here, George.
Oh, help me, Clarence. Get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Only get me back to my wife and kids, please. I want to live again.
Oh, thank you, George. Thank you, Lord.
I want to live again, please. Oh, God, please, let me live again.
George, is that shoe down there, George?
No, now get out of here, Bert. Get out of here. You come any closer and I'll have you... George.
What the Sam hell are you yelling for, George?
George. Bert, do you know me?
No, you. I've been looking all over town for you. Where have you been?
Hey, Bert! I'm alive again, Bert!
You sure you're all right? Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
It is? Hey, my mouth is bleeding. Bert, look at it. Look at the blood coming out of there, would you? Oh. Hey, and where's Zuzu's Christmas bell? Bert, I had it right here in my pocket. Here it is. Here it is in my pocket. What do you know about that? Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Merry Christmas. If you get in the car, I'll drive you home.
Oh, you will, Bert? We'll do that. And then turn the siren on wide open, huh? Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, old building and loan. Oh, Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee! Come on, Bert. Come on in with me, huh? What's with all these people? These reporters, what? Hey, Merry Christmas, reporters. Hey, Mr. Bank Examiner, Merry Christmas.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
I know, $8,000, I'll bet, huh?
George, I've got a little paper here. Now, I'm real sorry.
Oh, I bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas. Hey, where's Mary? You know, oh, look at this wonderful, drafty old house. Isn't it wonderful? Have you seen my wife? Where's Mary?
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Oh, kids. Hey, kids, Janie, Petey, I could eat you up. Where's your mother?
She went looking for you, Dad, with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. How do you feel, huh?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge? Hallelujah!
George, darling.
It's Mommy.
Oh, Mary.
George, where have you been?
Mary.
Oh, George.
Oh, Mary, just let me touch you. Oh, you're real, Mary. You have no idea what's happened to me.
You've no idea what happened either. They're on their way here.
Who's on their way here? Oh, it's the police department. I don't... Oh, the FBI, the National Guard. I'm alive again, Mary. Oh, listen, Mary. Mary, I'm alive again.
Oh, yes, darling, yes. Now close your eyes.
What?
And come on downstairs.
What is it? Can I open my eyes yet, Mary? What's going on here?
Now, keep your eyes closed. Now, I'll just walk over here by the Christmas tree and...
Well, there's people. I hear lots of people. What is it?
Just 1 minute now. We're all ready. Uncle Billy, come in, everybody.
George, look, just look.
Uncle Billy.
Money, George. A laundry basket filled with money. Money for you. Mary did it, George. Mary.
I don't understand. What money? What?
People heard you were in trouble, darling. These people, your friends, they've collected this money for you. The $8,000.
Charlie, wait. There's Martini. Oh, and Mr. Gower. How are you, Mr. Gower? Mrs. Thompson, Ed, Tom, everybody.
None of us would have a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you, George.
Oh, gosh, this is wonderful. Hey, Mary, look. Look who's coming in. Mother. Hi, Mother. Oh, hey, and Harry.
Hey, got Mary's telegram, George. Flew it as fast as I could.
Hey, everybody. A toast. How about a toast?
Good idea, Ernie. A toast to my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
Christmas bell. You didn't forget.
Forgot? Here, honey. Here's your bell.
Daddy.
Darling, what's this on the table here? What's this book?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Well, look. There's something written in it.
Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
Clarence?
Yeah, he's a very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Atta boy, Clarence. Atta boy.
Let's raise a cup of kindness yet.